The Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show. Here we go.
Over here in Louisiana, one of my favorite places to go to eat for sure. But we talking football today, and Brian Kelly, everybody knows, a coach of mine that I still hold a spot for Brian Kelly. Some of my Notre Dame people, they hate this guy, but I think he's a very practical coach, and he's deliberate in what he does, and he has a lot to offer to the game. But let's jump right into Kelly. And I'm going to let you talk about it first after I go through his stats right here. So Brian Kelly was 10-4 last year, 6-2 in the conference, first time over there with LSU. This is his second year here. It's considered his third, too, because coaching the bowl game or something like that. I can't see that. But anyways, he's returning to 8 on offense and 7 on defense. This year, what you think about Brian Kelly over here? What he's doing at LSU, Big Red?
He's definitely a first-year impact coach. I want to say he was almost. Well, he was. I thought he was a little ahead of schedule in my book, but I didn't realize how quick he was going to get that program up and going. You know, because they were right there. You know what I mean? They took the West down, and so there's nowhere to go. I won't say but down, but the expectation levels, anything less than what he did last year would almost be like a failure in my book, you know, because of what he done so quickly. But I mean, like you say, he's a quality guy and disciplinarian, and he's got ultra talent. You know, he's got some great line play. He's got key offensive weapons. He's DBs all over the place, and probably the biggest letdown for them was that first loss that they took to FSU, and guess who they get to open up against this year again? FSU. So they're going to pick up right where they left off, and I think he's got the pieces there to do it with, especially, arguably he's got the best quarterback in the league with in the SEC with Jaden Daniels. So I think he's a Heisman candidate. So it's going to be real interesting what goes on with this team this year. So I think they'll do very well in the conference, and I think they'll compete in all the big games. They'll be right there. I think Kelly had them ready.
Awesome. He's a coach of preparation, big time. Bill Belichick is one of his mentors, so he's really into preparation, and that always helps. So I knew he had a shot at getting some wins in the SEC his first year in there, but it wasn't like he got a bag of bums. He did what he had to do to get them right. But let's go into also this year he brings in 13 transfer players. So he plug and played last year a little bit. He plug and played again this year. But this year he went and got Diggs, his running back from Notre Dame, and he already has a big time tight end over there, Mason Taylor, and also, like you spoke before, Jaden Daniels, the quarterback. And this young guy should be able to mature some this year. All the other spots, the wide receiver position, the line, Kelly's an O-line guy. They're all more experienced this year with Kelly. And I feel like Jaden Daniels kind of barred into Kelly. And most of his players that he can keep barred into him, they do very well. But how long they stay barred into Kelly, I don't know how long. They say he's kind of a mean guy. So I don't know how long those guys stay committed to Kelly. But when they do commit, they do well. Jaden Daniels kind of made it out of last year, probably adjusting to the playbook and all that stuff, just out of pure talent. But, Jaden's going to have to use his arm a little more because Tommy Rees, he likes to run the ball, but he likes to set it up for the big pass. He likes using that tight end. So we're going to see a lot of tight end play over there with LSU. Just kind of the same stuff we've seen in Notre Dame as well, double tight ends, large sets, some heavy running, some power running, all those things are going to be a part of it. I don't know what benefit Daniel's feet is going to be this year. The blocking should be better. He should be able to actually plant and throw the ball. So they're not going to be expecting him to do all those things, but he still has the capability to do it. So the ceiling is high for LSU on offense, big time.
He's a good ace in the hole to have, because he can make the plays with his feet if he has to. So, and I know that Kelly. I mean, Kelly better than I do, but I know, he definitely likes to. He's more of a traditional type coach. He likes to play off the run a little bit too. So I don't think he's not an air raid type of coach. So, and I know they lost one of their key running backs last year, so that's why, like you said, he brought in the back from Notre Dame, and I don't know if he's going to fill the role. But what do you think about the running back he brought in?
Diggs was very good. He's not so much of a power back. He's a speed guy with a big line that he got over there. He should do well. All we see with Kelly, I'm going to go back to what Kelly said about, he's in a place where he can recruit the guys that, he need or whatever. He didn't have that freedom at Notre Dame. And we're going to see what the benefits of that is. Now you got a guy like Diggs who did great at Notre Dame, come over to maybe even a bigger line and, some other big key features along them. So in all actuality, he should do really well. But they're going to be by committee as well. They still haven't. It wasn't like the guys that they had last year were no good, but they just brought him along with Tommy Reese. That's another one. Together, them two can make a difference. So let's jump into the defense real quick. And last year they were 31 in points per game. 49 protecting against the run and 45 against the pass. Some mid-range right there. In order to win and be successful like Kelly want to be, you got to get those numbers up as well. But this year he went and got some transfer talent along with some experience. The secondary could be like bang or bust. They definitely have the talent, but putting it together, I don't know how well it's going to work right there. But that's how I see it for the defense at LSU. You took a look at the defense, Big Ragu?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, we know them as DBU, but the last 2 years they were saying that that they've been kind of down numbers for them, and they have one returning starter, and they said that they think the portal guys that are coming in, the transfers, are majorly talented kids. I won't break through all the names and whatnot, but they expect the defensive backs to be, improved immensely here. Linebackers, they're pretty solid across the board. They've done well there, and what I like is their defensive line is always really, really good. So I think defensively, I think they should shore things up, and I think we get a lot of the same production with the improvement on the DB side. So I think that bodes well for them on the defense. I don't think they have Georgia or Bama type numbers, but I think they're probably, even though Bama's numbers last year weren't spectacular on defense, that was probably an Achilles heel for them, in a lot of spots. But I think both of them, Bama and LSU, are going to gain on the defensive side this year.
Oh, you know what? I made a mistake. It ain't Tommy Reese that came over with him. It's Matt Dunbar. Dunbrick was with Kelly at Cincinnati and at Notre Dame, and now he's over here as offensive coordinator along with Kelly. But Kelly's always been, even when he was at Cincinnati, he was strong run, right. Tight end plays, same game everywhere he went. Taking a look at the schedule real quick. Interesting thing about the schedule is after October 7th. You'll see that they only have one away game, and that's against Alabama. But all of the rest of those games after October 7th are at home. But like we said, they do open up to Florida State, which would be tough. Every game could definitely be tricky for LSU because something about as much preparation and everything that Kelly shows, his consistency to hold a lead or, fend people off from, like, he puts together a great, part, and he always seems to have to come back or something later. And that's just one of the great inconsistencies about him. So every time he plays any team, the other team at some point will have a chance to turn the tables on him. He's not the guy to just go blow everybody out.
Yeah. So what do you think about the schedule? I mean, if you look at it, it's very top heavy on the road early on. So out of the first 6 games, 4 of them are on the road, and then they got 2 at home. Then they go to Bama, and then they got 3 at home. So they should. I think the schedule sets up pretty good for them as far as that goes. And so Mississippi State, they'll be down a little bit. Mississippi, Missouri. Yeah, I mean, if they get by Florida State, then they could be easily looking at an undefeated season going into Alabama, going November 4th. I mean, there's a couple tough spots in there. Arkansas could be tough. They're like always a juggernaut type team, and then it's never really easy to win all your games in the SEC. So, but the teams that are well stacked and are expected to win, they usually do well. But I think I could see them being undefeated going to see Alabama. Even though I'm an FSU guy, that's going to be a tough game for FSU. But we'll see what happens coming out of that one.
I'll tell you now, I'm leading LSU. I haven't looked at the number at it. Kelly did great coaching against the ACC teams when they have to play a lot of ACC teams. So only the ones that get Kelly is the ones that, like I said, his consistency doesn't hold. It was the Boston colleges and those type of teams that really put him to the test. So when he's preparing for a good team, he does well, and he's definitely going to be prepared for Florida State. So I don't know. I'm leaning towards a first half bet on the LSU, and probably leave the second half alone because they're gonna try to make magic. They got to make magic to keep this thing going. But I don't have any more notes on LSU. You ready to go over to the next one? Take a trip up out of here, Big Ragu?
Let's roll.